Nothing contained in this podcast should be considered a substitute for professional medical advice. This content does not represent our respective employers and is purely the opinion of the podcast hosts. We are not your personal medical providers. Sorry, friends. So, if you have concerns or are seeking a diagnosis or treatment, please seek individual advice from a healthcare provider in your area. We are not liable for any risks associated with acting upon the information contained in this podcast. This is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only, so enjoy the ride.
Please drink responsibly and in moderation. Before drinking, please be sure to be of the legal drinking age for your country. We do not encourage the misuse of alcohol.
Welcome to Medical Media Mixer, the perfect cocktail. I'm Nicole Peniston, psychologist.
And I'm Tara Prisco, physician assistant.
That's how we start an episode.
I know. I've got a little kooky. There was singing involved.
You tricked me.
We're totally posting all that singing, though.
That's fine. Whatever.
It's all worth it.
I'm not ashamed.
We're already planning. So this comes out in mid-September. Nicole's already planning Halloween.
I've been planning Halloween for my life for the last month. So, of course, I'll be planning a Halloween episode.
Yes. She's going to go big, I'm sure. Expect
Always.
nothing.
I might dress up that day, depending on...
Oh, you are too good. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe we should wear our Comic-Con costumes on the Halloween episode.
We'll be recording before Comic-Con.
So what?
Can't wear the same costume twice?
Yeah, but it won't come
Do you
out.
not know me?
But it won't come out until after.
I guess. We'll see. I still have to complete my purchases of my costume, so
yes,
we'll see
I know.
if I have by then.
We need to check out your accoutrements.
Yes.
So again, this is going to come out like a month after we record it, but the biggest thing ever in children, and you may even know it in adults right now, K-pop Demon Hunter girl group.
Okay.
Huntrax.
Number one, I keep seeing it on my Netflix and I'm like, oh, I'll watch that later. And then last week, I had a patient tell me that she watched it, was obsessed. And then her small child is now obsessed with the song. So every time they get in the car, requests to listen to the songs. Yeah.
So like a few days ago or a week ago, I heard the song on the radio and now it has
the
hit.
Radio.
Yes.
You listen to a radio?
On my
Really?
15 minutes to work.
I don't have radio. I have satellite that I never listen to, and then I listen to podcasts.
Well, I have satellite, and I listen to Z100 in the morning. I'm sorry. Ellis Duran and I, we go back like so long.
I love Elvis, too. He should shout us out on his show, but I don't get that channel where I live, so I can't listen to it anymore.
You're a little too far south.
I mean, I can listen on satellite.
iHeart,
yeah.
But they played the song, and now, as of, I believe, today, which is the August 12th, the statistic or whatever, that song, Golden, by Huntrax, which is a fictional band in a children's movie.
No, none of this is fictional.
Has now
very real.
Hit the highest that a girl group, pop group, has hit since Destiny's Child.
That tracks. But also, I need to stop you right there because if you're going to tell me that certain bands are fictional, the Monkees were real, the Partridge Family was real.
Gem
is real.
Barbie and the Rockers.
They're all real bands. Someone had to sit down and write those songs and sing them. So they are all real. I was Gem last year for Comic-Con, so I get it.
Yes.
But do not say they're not real bands. They are real bands.
But now
they're just under a fictional name for a character.
But now I see this as like the tour, like the Teeny Bopper tour, and like we're all going to be bopping along to it. Like they're going to be playing at stadiums now. Are we going to have holograms? What are we going to have?
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't we?
So my kids had watched it. One time I was out for some reason. I came back late and they were watching the end of it. And then they've watched it on their own a few times. And I was watching it with the youngest a few days ago. I fell asleep, not because the movie wasn't good, but because I was in my bed and it was on. So I made it halfway through. So I have to watch the second half. I caught the very ending as I woke up.
So is it heavy on the Demon Hunters or heavy on the K-pop or equally heavy on both?
It is equally heavy on both. And there's a boy band that they fight against who are the demons.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in. Like when I first saw the premise, I was like, I need to sit down and watch this uninterrupted, which is not often how I watch television. Usually it's while I'm working or while I'm doing something else. So
right.
to commit my full time to it is going to it's gonna, maybe this weekend I'll commit.
What's gonna take over the world, that or Labubu? We don't know. Who's gonna win? Social media.
No, it's not a battle, because I'm sure all of those K-pop demon hunters have their own Labubus who are wearing matching outfits, so they're gonna do it together. True. Don't come for my Labubus.
They have taken over the world.
They really have, and I am not mad about it. I am obsessed with mine. I have a favorite out of mine, so now I'm like, oh, maybe I need to get rid of the ones that are not my favorites, but
okay,
I have favorites. Yeah. Toffee is my favorite, for those listening who know Labubus, or as some people call it, Toffee, but it's Toffee. Toffee is Toffee.
As in the candy, yes.
Yeah, but some people call it Toffee.
Are they from somewhere not in America, maybe?
I've heard lots of people call it Toffee. I do love lychee berry, but...
Now, is that lychee or lychee?
So that's the other thing. I heard both. I call it lychee berry. It's probably lychee berry. Either way, I like them both. They're both exciting macarons. So there's some debate over what version that you like, but those are my favorites.
The language I'm not even speaking right now.
I bet if you said those words to one of your children, they would know exactly what I'm talking about.
But I might be able to pick out who my favorite K-pop girl
Demon
is.
Huntress? Yeah.
Well, from Huntrix. So, it might be the little girl who raps.
I mean, cool. I think this is a missed Comic-Con cosplay opportunity, but there's always next year.
I think it's going to blow up, and there's going to be a ton of people there because it's just in time for people to get costumes. Yeah. I think we're going to see it.
Well, I've also been one who's always been like ahead of my time, so I'm never doing what's exactly popular. I'm just doing something that's like noticeable. So
true. Yeah. You can't be like on the trend.
That's like on the nose. As much as I love it, I'm not going to go as somebody from Squid Game. It's too popular. I'm not going to do it. There's going to be 50 million Squid Games people there.
True.
But I'm confident I may be the only one of my costume there.
I like it. I don't know about mine. We'll see, because mine's very retro, but then came back. So,
well, when we did Bridgerton, we were, I believe, the only Bridgerton people there.
Oh, really?
A blogger stopped us and chatted with us for quite some time because she's obsessed with Bridgerton era stuff, and so she was very excited to see us and recognized us right away.
Nice.
Other people thought we were Victorian Belle and Jasmine, and I was like, that's just racist.
I imagine that Jasmine was Diana.
Yes, and like her costume was like that, like turquoisey color.
I mean, she'd be a beautiful Jasmine. I could totally see it.
But still, she was not Jasmine. She had her croquet mallet and everything. Jasmine doesn't have a croquet mallet. Come on, people.
There are new seasons coming out eventually, right? Bridgerton?
Eventually, yeah. It's going to follow Colin's brother, the other one. Yeah. The one who was having a threesome in the last
Oh, yes.
Oh, spoiler, sorry.
I'm sure that's not that big of a spoiler.
Off topic, but not. The new Downton Abbey movie is coming out in a month, and I'm super excited. Deb and I are going to go.
I've not said my child's name on air, but the second child is named from Downton Abbey.
I know this.
And it's not Violet, although Violet is a favorite character, it is not Violet.
Yeah.
Maggie Smith was like, yeah. I do love me some Downton.
They're going to still pay tribute to her. She's timeless.
Favorite.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going on a completely different era topic today. Like, we are not in the past.
We're not.
We are in the future.
Are you sure?
We are blasting off.
Oh, Lord.
Into the future. All right. So disclaimer, my drink, I'm going to put pictures that you can put up where it looked like it's supposed to look.
And now I'm scared to ask what it looks like now.
Well, number one, whenever you use coconut cream, I couldn't see inside my shaker how shaken up it was, and then it was like cold, and I couldn't get the top off, so it's a little chunkier than it should be.
Yeah, coconut cream separates really easily.
But it did have cotton candy on top. But the moment the cotton candy hits the liquid, it starts shrinking. So I'm like rapid fire taking pictures of it.
Did you not know that? Did you not know what cotton candy is made of?
I underestimated how quickly it happened. Like, I'm taking pictures, and then I had to have like a child like place it, and then we take pictures as quickly as I could because it was like seconds.
And it was so smart.
It was just gone. There's a picture on the recipe. Obviously, they put like actual cotton in that picture because they couldn't have taken that picture if it happened so quickly.
Well, it doesn't offend me because I hate cotton candy. My texture issues.
Yeah.
It's eating hair. It's hair.
I've never been a cotton candy person my whole life, but we do have a cotton candy maker because we thought it would be a fun thing with kids. And It's come in handy a little bit for entertaining. But yeah, it's just sugar. To me, it's a little...
No, I hate it. And to solidify how much I hate it, do you know how you say cotton candy in French?
No.
Barbe papa. That is beard of my father. It's eating hair.
I love it. All right.
Barbe papa, no.
Oh, wait. What is that? There's a song. Papa, no. Wait.
Yeah, it's not Barbe papa. I know what you mean.
There is a song that my kids would sing. Something,
yeah,
Papa,
I know what you mean.
No, Papa.
Papa tui.
I don't know.
Papa tui. It's just, I know what you're talking about, but it's not about cotton candy at all. I don't know if you want your kids to sing that song.
I'm thinking of something else. It's more of like a kiddie folk song.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask Alexa to play it later. So my drink is called the Galactic Cloudburst. So hence the Cloudburst should be the cotton candy. So it's 1 ounce of blue curacao, 1 ounce of vodka, 2 ounces of coconut cream, 1 ounce of pineapple juice, 1 ounce of lemon juice, and ice. And then you use a little edible glitter as well. And you make some cotton candy or buy some cotton candy to top it. So essentially you put all the liquid ingredients in your shaker with some ice, shake it up, throw it in your glass, put some of that edible glitter in to swirl around and look a little like a galaxy. And you top it with, it could be blue, it could be pink. I was doing blue, going with a starry theme, cotton candy. So the picture hopefully will be cuter than right now. You can see a little sparkle.
I see the sparkle.
But yeah, cotton candy's gone.
That's okay.
But essentially, it's like a pina colada, essentially, with vodka instead of rum.
And not frozen.
Right. Non-frozen. But, flavors, pineapple, coconut. You got the gist.
I got the gist. I got the gist.
The gist. So what I'm talking about today definitely has to do with space and a little bit of futuristic stuff too.
The final frontier.
I knew that was coming.
I don't think space is the final frontier. I think the ocean is the final frontier. We still don't know a lot of shit about that either.
True. Absolutely.
Actually,
true.
The brain is the final frontier. We know nothing about that.
We're like, oh, it's a mob of weird gray jelly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's old, squishy jello. That's what it is. Anyway, the final frontier, space.
We need some music, to insert, dun, dun. So, what inspired me was, I mentioned on another episode that Project Hail Mary, there's a movie coming out with Ryan Gosling as the main character. There's been a lot of books.
Of the triad of Ryans? No, those are Chris's.
Nope.
There's a triad of Ryans, though. Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling.
We're going down this hole.
Yeah.
Are they holy, though?
Holy. I'm sure they could be. Saint Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Saint Ryan.
Saint Ryan, pray for us.
Yes. Martian and Champagne, pray for us.
Pierrot, Marcelin, Champagne.
Always the French. I've underestimated how much French would come up in this podcast.
I know, so did I. I'm sure if Miss Schachter is listening, which I hope she is, she's like, oh, the pronunciation is sloppy.
I'll take it. I don't know any better. So I had seen the movie coming out, and everyone's been talking about the book, Project Hail Mary, and all of my book groups that I follow online.
I'm pretty sure it was on Book Talk.
It's on everything. Everybody's been talking about it. So I was like, you know what? Let me dive into it. Sounds like something I would like. But before I did that, I was like, let me read one of his smaller books, a little lighter, called Artemis. And then, of course, after Project Hail Mary, I had to go back and read The Martian. So I read all of his space books because I had to completely cover all of the space things.
Fair.
So, the first one, Artemis, I'll go with. That's from 2017. So the setting is essentially, it's the city called Artemis, which is the first and only city on the moon. So it is a colony on the moon.
Is it a human colony?
So what's really funny, now, of course, I'm not going to remember what country. I believe it was Kenya, if this makes sense. But the way this all happened,
that doesn't make any sense. If you said Russia,
no,
or the
but
US,
that's the whole point.
I would have been like, okay,
that this leader from an African country was able to sort of pull some. It was a very industrious.
Mean in the book. I thought you meant in life, like somebody had a colony. I'm like,
no.
No.
This is all fiction.
Okay,
this is fiction in the future. near future, but future. Somebody was able to pull together a bunch of industry and a bunch of people to say, we can financially run this colony on the moon and everybody's going to profit and we can have people live there. So this head of, like I said, head of industry, I believe it was Kenya, somewhere in that area, runs this colony on the moon. And
I love that for our future. I hope that happens.
Yeah. So have you ever wanted to go to space?
Like for reals?
For reals.
No, that was never on my bingo card of things to complete in my life. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm also like, what do I have to share with the aliens other than my impeccable French and my knowledge of song lyrics? I don't think I really have anything that they need from me.
Maybe they're beaming in and listening to this recording right now and learning about American culture.
Are you telling me I'm going to get abducted tomorrow?
No,
That's what I'm hearing from
They're
you.
learning about what American culture is like just from us.
Just from our podcast?
What humans are like.
Good luck, guys. You're not going to learn it all just from us.
So, but I thought it was a nice, an interesting way of coming about things. So they had built this colony, and if you can picture sort of big bubbles, and they're all connected. And so, just like any city, some areas are where the rich people live. Some areas are more, we'll call them the slums. There's markets. There's some people, if you rent out, you don't even have a full apartment. You might live in sort of like a compartment, sort of, if you've ever heard of, I think it's in Japan, where you can like rent like a little capsule bed sort of
like
thing.
a pod.
Like similar to that, if like you're lower on the totem pole. So it follows this main character, Jasmine Bashara, and she's a porter who works, and earns money and, delivers things that get brought in on the ships. But she's also a little part-time smuggler on the side, of course. But it's interesting because, I'm not going to give all of her adventures because it's a fun little read. But she comments throughout, no big medical struggles, but she does comment that she's been there her whole life. I think she said she came when she was about 6, and that if she ever went back to Earth, she wouldn't be able to walk because they live in a partial gravity on the moon, right? So the moon's gravity is not quite the same. And so you can sort of bounce, if you could picture, moonwalking even within your structure, because the structure is giving you like an atmosphere and breathing and all that. But they don't change the gravity perspective. So that makes us think like medically, like nothing would work if you went back to Earth. Like you'd be like blah, a ball of mush because you need to like.
Can you do that again? You'd be like, what?
Blah. You need to like retrain your bones, your muscles, and all of that. So that's.
Sorry, I went on a mental tangent. The bubble towns like had me picturing, and I was picturing. This is a semi-spoiler. The ending of the Divergent series.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I know, which that made me so angry. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oldest child read 2 books and they didn't read the third. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Just read the end.
She's better off because the third one pissed me off so much.
I know. But
that's so mad.
She did that because she didn't do it because a friend told her that, and I'm like,
and then I got mad at Kate Winslet, and it's not her fault. She was just playing a role in a movie, but it's her fault.
But they do talk about in this, like this intricate lunar economy, they do talk about their environment and how they have this very specific system to keep enough oxygen in there and all of the risks it takes. If one thing fails, what's going to happen? Like everybody in this whole colony dies. And it also sort of raised some ethical issues about how healthcare access is even within this community, not too different from Earth. Mm-hmm. Also, the sickness and things like that would be a lot less because you're in a very insulated community. You're not accepting a lot of people in. There is some travel, some tourism, but I think that you'd be a little bit more protected from infections because it takes how long to get there. People are going to be tested and you'd be a little bit less. You're not going to have crossover between like animals and humans and bacteria that are living on surfaces and things like that.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Are you talking about travel between like the pod cities or travel back to Earth?
Back to Earth. So you can have tourism. You can come in, you could take a really expensive vacation to the moon and then go back home. But there's some safeguards there. And
you're still like when we travel to other countries, we can't bring back fruits or animals or things like that.
Exactly. So it just raised a couple of different interesting, queries as far as what medicine on the moon means. And then if you cover the Martian, which actually preceded this, that was in 2011. So that's the Matt Damon movie that came out, was based on this book. And that was actually a group mission to Mars in which something happened emergently on the surface, and the main character, Mark Watney, played by Matt Damon, his whole crew ended up leaving thinking he died because he looks like he got impaled by something during the storm, and they had to leave Mars. But then he wakes up and he's alive.
I'm making a face because there's been multiple space movies of a similar beginning plot. I don't know if I saw that one.
This is a huge movie, quite a few years ago.
But I feel like, was there another one with...
All you need to know about this movie is potatoes. If you remember potatoes, you know all about this movie. Okay, so...
I feel like I saw The Martian, but I feel like I'm missing big gaps in my head, which maybe that means I wasn't watching it by itself. I was doing other things.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole thing is one of his main roles on this crew was he's going to be the botanist and he was going to run studies.
Yes, I remember him planting stuff, and then I remember him worrying about the oxygen running out, and he was like, well, I just need to plant more plants because they'll create more oxygen. And then
yes and no, there was a whole lot of systems involved in that, but essentially he was the botanist and also an engineer, so he ends up waking up, he's partially impaled by something, but his suit sort of sealed it, so he was in his spacesuit. He didn't lose oxygen. He wakes up, he's like, crap, I'm alone. But they already had a habitat set up, so he lives in that habitat, but he has no way to contact Earth,
right?
And no way for them to know he's alive, and so he has to sort of either try and get to, I believe it's 4 years from then when the next Mars landing is going to be, which is going to be in a different location, and he has to devise how to get himself that far.
I did see this movie
and alive for that long. So they had a certain amount of food that was set up for 6 people for however many months they were supposed to be there. Now it's 1 person. Okay, that stretches it a little bit, but it's not going to stretch it enough. Right. So he takes the potatoes that were fresh, because apparently they were going to do Thanksgiving dinner and prepare it themselves. That was like the only real fresh food. And so he uses those grafts to plant potatoes. And so it's just interesting because yes, I think there's a lot of nutrition involved, obviously, figuring out like how much his body can handle without burning too many calories. There's also, he's going in and out doing different things to get himself rescued. And so he's in and out of his habitat. He's going into zero gravity. He's, well, not zero gravity. I'm sorry. Mars does have gravity. So it does have a decent gravity. But he's going outside into the environment. He's having to get in and out of his suit. There's a couple different times where he almost loses his oxygen supply. So it runs into, again, these very limited resources, improvisation in his own medical care.
I'm laughing because I think my takeaway from that movie is that Matt Damon's a great actor when he's just by himself.
Yeah. I mean, he's really pretty much by himself most of the movie.
Because I felt like it was really engaging and amusing. And I'm like, I usually don't like him in movies. So I was like,
right.
Oh, he's just by himself. He's really good.
Because the way the book reads, you're reading like his like journal, like he like writing everything down as it's happening. So it has his humor built in, and that comes out in the movie.
Yeah.
But the extreme isolation, obviously the physical and mental challenges of that. And eventually they do realize he's down there because a satellite picture actually sees something different, and they do find a way to try and rescue him. But it definitely brings into, all right, this was planned out to a T, and then it wasn't. And he had to improvise.
Right. And you're making me like question my life, because I'm like, wow, I've seen a lot more space movies than I thought I did. Because a lot of them have like kind of that same setup. It's like, oh, you're stranded or now you're stuck. What do you do now?
Right. But my favorite of all of them was definitely Project Hail Mary. So that's the book that came out in 2021. It's really the most futuristic and the most out there and the least feasible at the moment. But hey, you never know.
We don't know what NASA's working on.
The whole thing is the Earth is actually close to an extinction level event. So,
like it is.
Right. But it's happening a lot more quickly. It has to do with the sun dying out and this
like it is.
certain particles out there and these certain things that are basically eating up the light rays, and the Earth is going to die quickly. So they are sent out in this mission, and the way that the book follows is him waking up and not understanding or remembering anything from like hypersleep kind of a deal. And then him having to recall all the events got him here, and his 2 people that came with him on this mission are dead.
It was the hypersleep purposely induced, or something that happened by mistake along the way?
No, purposely to get them, because it's a long time to get where they had to get. So they actually were leaving our galaxy.
I wish I could.
Or leaving our solar system. I'm sorry. Leaving our solar system.
I wish I could take a nap on my commute to work.
Yeah, really. Like deep nap. That's some
Deep
sleep.
nap on the commute to and from work.
So that one is really interesting because it plays into when he does eventually start to manage within his sort of ship. His ship has one area, like an area where he can turn on gravity, and it basically spins to create like an artificial gravity. And then there's sometimes where he
spins. The ship spins?
Yeah.
Okay.
To create an artificial gravity so he can work and do certain things there. And then he has to turn that off to maneuver the ship in certain ways. So it goes back and forth with his body. Like
I was going to say, that's got to impact your body.
Oh, yeah. And this ship also has like a built-in, like, because while you're in hypersleep, you have to have like a AI nurse sort of thing taking care of you. So
he's in like a hyperbaric chamber.
Sort of. He's like in a bed, and there's like a big arm that like does things to him while he was sleeping. And then once he wakes up, like it can help him with things.
Does things to him, like
he's
sexy
like,
things?
How good things. Give me water. Give me this. Give me food.
Wait, you just said no good things, so sexy things are not good things?
Oh, I didn't hear sexy things. I just heard like...
No, I'm getting confused because there's a Black Mirror episode about people who are in space versus back home. But there is similar themes. So
yeah, I mean, so this one really talks a lot about solitude and the effects of like that hibernation. And then again, it's like that self-reliant medical care and dealing with improvising a lot in deep space. I'm not going to give away because there's some really cool, really neat, heartwarming stuff in this. I'm not going to give it away because it's actually an amazing story. But just all of this sort of inspired me to think about space medicine, because that's an actual field of medicine. Like we've had to study that, right? Well, I mean, I haven't had to study that, but people have had to study that.
Yeah, if we're sending people up there, we need to know how to take care of them.
Yeah, so it starts before people even get to the point of going into space. NASA, which is our, version of that, and I'm sure each country has very similar things. They have to meet rigorous standards, similar to like military flight physicals. They have to have 20/20 vision, but they are allowed corrective lenses, which is interesting because I believe that, at least this is what I've heard, I don't know if this is true, that like fighter pilots have to have 20/20 vision without even lenses.
But if they had it surgically corrected.
Right. Possibly. Yeah. I mean, they're hearing,
I thought you were going to talk about space monkeys first, and I got really excited. Monkeys? And then I realized you're not going to talk about space monkeys. I don't want to do
experiments on monkeys in space. That's not very nice.
No, I just want to know about the monkeys that went to space and thank them for their service.
I do thank them. They're probably really cool, but I feel bad for them.
Okay, sorry. I interrupted you with monkey talk.
Just monkey business. Monkeying around. Oh, we are the corniest people who ever
I'm not
existed.
Drunk, I swear.
So, of course, normal hearing, normal blood pressure. Their height has to be between 62 and 75 inches, which is 5'2" and 6'3" to fit in the spacecraft correctly. So you can't be too tall. You cannot be too short. And
it's like Goldilocks. Not too big, not too small.
It's a fairly good range, 5'2" to 6'3". I think that hits most average people. Yeah. And of course, on top of the physical requirements, of course, they have to have the intelligence and whatever background in science they're going up there for. And then
I'm making a face because I'm like, really? Do you really have to be that intelligent?
You do.
You just have to know how to work the stuff.
No, but
you have to have good problem solving skills. Maybe that's what I'm getting at.
But the missions aren't just go in space and come back, but typically they're to do different experiments while there. So.
Right. But like as long as like you're trained how to do those things.
I guess.
I think someone of average intelligence could probably do it if they had the right training.
Yeah, but they're not getting picked. This is
true.
The elite group here.
I mean, we just sent Katy Perry to space.
Oh, well,
so.
Yeah.
No shade to Katy, just saying.
Yeah. I'm talking about the real deal here. And of course, on your end of things, extensive psychosocial testing, because they have to have that resilience. Like they have to be compatible with the group they're going with too. So personality and stress tolerance. So there has to be a lot in order, because if one thing goes wrong or one person goes cuckoo, it's all over. And then some of these emissions, depending on how long they are, you know, a lot of emotional regulation and adaptability, dealing with that. And then as far as their heart and their lungs go, of course, there's a lot of stress going on there. So they'll do like a treadmill stress test, just like anyone else would do in a cardiology office. And they have to be able to withstand those G forces. So if you've ever gone on a ride, like that gives you intense G forces.
Never gone on a ride.
No, but like Mission to Space in Disney, like those G forces and that. And I'm like, if I can barely do this, I don't know that I could do the other, you know, like,
that's true.
Like really, really. And then training them, you know, their muscles have to be trained. They have to do these underwater spacewalk simulations to maneuver themselves. And back to the intelligence. So typically it says candidates have backgrounds in science, tech, engineering, math, and medicine and military. So those are the people they look for.
Sorry, I was squinting because again, brain off in lots of things. There was some movie that I tried to look up and can't find the title of, where a woman gets pregnant in space. And I was wondering, with gravity, what if that could even actually happen?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, somebody gets pregnant in space in a movie.
In a movie.
And then it gives birth in space.
Wow. I don't know. The baby's bones are not going to be right. I say that.
Apparently in the movie they were fine. So,
and then just a quick aside, someone will mention briefly in an episode in a few weeks. There's actually a PA who went to space, Haley Arcano. And she actually wrote a book, and she's a PA and a cancer survivor. So she went up on a brief little mission in space. So, I mean, the big question is, I guess, what are the effects of the mission, like of taking off? What are the effects of being in zero or low gravity? The biggest thing, you know, one of the biggest things is our bone health. So you don't realize this, that your bones are constantly remodeling. So your bones in your body are not a static thing. They're uptaking calcium, they're leaching calcium into your blood, and it's a constant turnover. And part of the way that gets stimulated is you're pounding on gravity and walking. Mm-hmm. So if you're in zero gravity, you will lose 1 to 1.5% of your bone density every month. So yeah. So without that, you don't realize how much could change. And then, of course, if your muscles don't have that resistance against them, they're going to also atrophy. And certain muscles, I
have a question, and you may not know the answer to this. Are there right now limits for how long we want someone to be in space? Like barring an accident or a problem? Like people
I don't know any particular exact number, but there were those 2 people who were left at the space station. That was this year, longer than anticipated. So I think they went beyond what their plan was. Right. But I don't know the exact number.
Okay.
But the other thing we don't think about is certain muscles that we use for posture, for sitting, for standing. If you don't have to use them, those even very specific muscles, even if you're walking on the little space treadmill and doing all your space exercises, there's little muscles.
Are space exercises easier than Earth exercises? Because maybe I should start with those.
But there's other muscles that we don't even realize we're using in normal life.
Like
that
gardening
will natural
muscles.
Exactly.
We're not using those muscles in space. No deep squats in space.
The other thing
that needs to be on a t-shirt. It makes no sense, so it should be on a t-shirt.
It does.
No deep squats in space. TM. I'm not drunk, I swear.
So, did you know that without gravity, the fluid in your body is going to also shift around, right? So your face is going to be fuller because the gravity keeps things down.
Oh, I was thinking of other fluids like pee. And I'm like, where's it going?
Well, no, that's sort of a vacuum. So your bladder is a vacuum. There's no air in there. But yeah, things like your face, like you're going to get more puffy. Your eyeballs are very much effective, and they're still trying to understand the shape of your eye can change in space.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you get an astigmatism?
They don't call it that. There's an actual term, which I may have a few lines down in my notes, for what happens to your eye in space.
I'm guessing then it would affect your blood flow.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So you can have, there you go. I told you it's the next line down. Space flight associated neuroocular syndrome. Increased intracranial pressure causes vision changes and your optic disc to swell because of the fluid change. And then of course your when we think about like vertigo and your vestibular system, so remember I think we've mentioned before that your eyes and your ears tell your brain where you are in space, but your ears are not reading up, down, left, or right when there's no gravity because there is no definition of that. So when you come back, of course, think about the worst vertigo you could ever have.
Look, I've had vertigo before and it is no joke. So I'm not wishing that on anyone.
Right. And your immune system does take a hit as well. So the T cell activity can decrease. You can have reactivation of some viruses like herpes simplex, which is cold sores, or shingles, because your body is sort of going through a big stressor.
Yeah, because they're like dormant in your body before that.
Exactly. And any stressor could set them off. And this is a major stressor to the body. And then the last thing is the radiation exposure, because we don't realize that radiation levels in space are significantly higher. So I think that's more the limiting factor of probably your time in space. Yeah. Because you have an increased cancer risk. You can also develop cataracts. Here, our Earth's magnetosphere protects us, and spacecrafts protect us a little bit, but not enough if you were there for long enough to prevent everything. And then sort of in your realm, the mental health.
Sort of in my realm.
Well, mental health and behavioral health in space. So sleep disruption, day and night. We don't have a clear day and night. We don't have a sun rising and setting. We know that people who even live in places who have say up north or far south, who have, all light in the summer and all dark in the winter, they have some mental health consequences for it. Or people who live in just our area who have maybe seasonal affective disorder. So there's definitely a huge disruption when there's really no rhyme or reason or cues for your days and nights.
Right. And people really don't realize how severely sleep can impact your mental health. So it can really, really trigger a lot of things if you're not getting the appropriate amount of sleep.
Right. And so, that's like we talked about the isolation and the other mental health things. But when you come back, that, like we alluded to, those balance and coordination, walking impairments, can't stand upright easily, your blood pressure drops. So there's a lot that happens when you come back, and there's a big recovery period. And they have protocols that are set up. So NASA has a flight medicine clinic that oversees your recovery. They have specific exercises, balance retraining, nutrition. Even though you're getting nutrition, your body's going to act very differently there. And they also have some psychological follow-up.
When you're not getting the same type of nutrition in space as you would on Earth, there's limitations. So
I'm sure they're calculating it to a T, but I think the stresses on your body are so different that it can't be exactly right.
Right. And like taking a vitamin C supplement isn't the same as eating an orange. So like even though you're getting the same thing, it's different.
A little bit different. Yeah. And then they're still really studying the long-term implications, right? So they're continuing to follow them over time. Bone, health, vision health, cardiovascular health. And we had mentioned, I think on one of our episodes, we were about to mention Scott Kelly, or maybe I think it was after an episode we were chatting about.
It was after an episode. Because I was like, wait, what about the space twins?
Yes. So yes, there are space twins. But Scott Kelly, who had multi-missions, so he's really one they're studying long-term. And then his brother, though, who is one of our senators, Mark Kelly, senator. Yes, House. No, I think he's a senator.
You could tell me it was Senator Google, and I would be like, "That's right."
But they were both, astronauts, and they were both from New Jersey. I believe we triangulated, we figured it out after we spoke. West Orange, New Jersey. And the reason I remember that is I believe that I saw a sign when I used to live up there when I went to college, like that he was coming to town or something. So yeah, I mean, there really is an actual division of like you can be the medical provider for space medicine. So I mean, that's a cool field to get into. I don't know how you get all the way there to be the special one, but
can't tell me how I can be a space psychologist.
I mean, that would be really cool. So you should try and find out.
I don't know if I have the qualifications.
I mean, they say basically, so, it's clinical medicine with the aviation, space combo. And so there tend to be like either NASA flight surgeons, military physicians, commercial space flight consultants. And they actually have their own certification, the board certified via the American Board of Preventative Medicine. And there's growing interest due to the now private companies that are doing this. So it used to be all government based, but now we have these private companies. And
thanks, Jeff.
And the other guy.
the other guy.
The other guy.
Jeff and Elon going to space.
So I'm hoping that they're doing just as much to protect the people they're sending. So,
Well, it seems like so far they're only going for very short amounts of time, but if they want to expand, they do need to have better supports.
Exactly. So that's kind of the future. So we're talking about if we eventually want to go to Mars, it's 2.5 to 3 years to get there.
No, thank you. I'm good.
See, when I was a kid, I definitely wanted to go to space. I mean, now
you know where I wanted to go? Pluto. It's not a planet anymore.
It's not a planet anymore. Poor Pluto. We miss you so.
I just liked it because of the Disney character, but still.
That's really far. Like, we're talking far. That's the furthest one you got. Like,
look, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go big or go home.
Wait, what was the mnemonic? My mother... Hold on. It's...
Mercury, Mars. No, Mars, Mercury.
My very... Venus. My very...
Mercury, Venus, Mars.
No, Earth. My very exceptional mother... So, right, Earth, Mars.
Wait, what are the other two?
There's 9. Well, there's 8 now, but there were 9.
But you said
my very, so Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
Okay, that's right.
And then I can't remember the rest of the mnemonic.
Saturn.
Right, Jupiter.
It's Jupiter,
Neptune,
Saturn.
Uranus, but
Neptune.
I don't remember what the mnemonic was for
Uranus
the rest.
And rest in peace, Pluto.
But if we want
for those young people, Pluto used to be a planet,
but now they
downgraded him.
It's a dwarf planet.
He's a dwarf. Is he a dwarf planet or a dwarf moon of?
No, it's a dwarf planet. It's still not a moon of anything else. It doesn't rotate around anything else. But yeah,
he used to be a planet, and he used to be my favorite, and he doesn't count anymore. But he was the furthest from Earth.
Isn't there something else too? Didn't they take something out of the rainbow? Roy G. Biv is no longer Roy G. Biv. I believe they renamed something, like Indigo and Violet are now one thing or something. I
could see that.
Everything that we learned, they just took it away.
There's no USSR. Nothing that we learned in school is real anymore. So nothing matters.
No Berlin Wall either. So,
There's no Berlin Wall. Well, that came down while we were still in school. So that tracks. That's fine.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's no Pluto. There's no USSR. They made us learn all of that too.
I know.
They told us we wouldn't have calculators in our pockets. They were wrong.
Hell yeah. We got calculators.
That's why we're Gen X.
Yeah.
Because we don't give an X about anything. See what I did there?
You got it. So yeah, Mars is like the big goal, right? That's the big goal. But there's really
Is it because it's the most inhabitable?
It is. Yeah. Okay. It's the thing that we could really do something with. But there's really no return to Earth backup. There's no real plan.
But isn't it much smaller than Earth? Like we wouldn't be able to bring the full population.
No, it's not meant. We're talking just missions even to start.
Right. But I'm saying like if colonization
Mars is larger than Earth.
Mars, it is?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought
Mercury's small.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about anything.
But it has over 100 times the radiation that we have. So that might be a problem.
Extra radiation didn't hurt anybody.
The whole other thing too, they're talking about like commercial space tourism, which is sort of a little bit of those famous people now going there. And so like,
they're going for like 30 minutes. Like it takes me longer to get to the mall.
Right. They're going into orbit and coming back. But I guess at some point there was a whole thing like you could pay to be on the first mission to Mars.
Yeah. Who has that money?
Wasn't one of the Backstreet Boys supposed to go? Lance?
Yes. Was it Lance was supposed to go. I think he is still going.
Okay.
And then I know Ryan Reynolds wanted to go and put forward the money, and then Mila put the kibosh on that. She was like, no, sir. No, ma'am.
So, I mean, but then, think about it. So each of those
I used
people,
the wrong person. It was Ashton wanting to go to space, and that's why Mila
that
said
made
no.
sense. I'm
Sorry.
like, Ryan, Mila, yeah, whatever.
I mean, Ryan's wife would say no, too. Blake ain't messing around.
Yeah. But they don't necessarily have all the rigorous physical training prior. So their risks is like off the charts.
I would hope that they would do some sort of training, but it's definitely not going to be as rigorous as an astronaut.
Exactly. So, I mean, right now they're just trying to figure out like what would work.
We should ask? We should ask Gail. How did it really go? I feel like she'll tell us the real tea.
Yes. Actually, she was the most real of all the people. You know what?
She looked scared and she was not messing around. She's like, I'm going to space.
But there were I think 2 of those girls in my girl flight were real scientists and nobody talked about. Well, that's how they made it. Like
I know, but that's the sad thing. There were 2 scientists.
Real
and they
scientists.
Made it, like the girl flight.
Right. Like real, really earn their place there. I don't know.
Because Katie and Lauren were there, and I have no issue with either of them, but
No.
they definitely stole the spotlight from the scientist.
Exactly. So I think they just need to work a little bit more about like what artificial gravity would need to happen, you know, what else they could do for healthcare, the AI-based like diagnostics and making medications. And then just real quick, like we talked about the NASA twin study. So yeah, Scott Kelly, who went to space, and then I guess Mark Kelly was technically an astronaut but didn't go to space. And then so they studied both of them.
Has he ever been to space or never?
I don't think so. I think he was an astronaut who never went to space. Like he had the training.
Like, doesn't that suck though, to like be like, is it me or my brother? Oh, let's let my brother go and I never get to go. Like, that sucks.
They do look a little different now. So I wonder if like space changed.
I mean, I'm sure he was sold on the research aspect of it because they are like true controls, but still.
Oh, here we go. Here's a question that you asked in the beginning and I didn't know the numbers. I got numbers for you.
Yay.
All right. Short-term versus long-term missions. I knew it was somewhere, but I was like, I don't want to quote anything. Short-term flights are under 30 days and they're typically done on initial flights and some commercial flights. They have the mild fluid shifts, minimal bone loss. The emissions are 1 to 6 months, and those tend to have more of the muscle atrophy, the vision problems, and the psychologic problems. Long duration is 6 to 12 plus. So that's Scott Kelly, who we just talked about. He has had 340 days on the International Space Station in 2015 and 16.
He didn't want to make it to 365.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what it is? They have to pick them up like on a very specific orbit, like grab them. So it was, you know, the stars and the moon and the world told them when
things did not align
home.
for his 365.
And wait, there's a guy from Russia, Valery Polyakov, who was 437.
Whoa.
In 94 to 95, when they probably didn't know nearly as much as they do now.
Good for you, Valerie. I hope you had a monkey up there to keep you company.
Yeah, and so those long-term had 20% bone density loss, prolonged weakness, and telomere lengthening. So remember telomeres when your cells, you can picture little cells dividing?
She just asked me if I remember telomeres. I remember the word. I couldn't tell you what it means.
So back in bio class, but what's interesting is this telomere lengthening was initially protective in studies and then later returns to baseline. And even the ways that your genes are expressed, so that's a whole nother thing, but epigenetics that they proved with the twin study, there are some differences. And then we talked about like no bacteria, so your microbiome also gets thrown off.
Yeah.
And then some effects like the eyes are not fully reversible. So that does not always go back to normal. So
does that mean it's like worsening in the eyes and now you need glasses, or like now your eyes are a different shape, so maybe you have a different prescription?
So it's a little more than that because your optic disc actually swelled. So your optic disc is what's in the back of your eye. And I'm sure there are probably some blood vessel issues with that. So I think they're still learning exactly how much, but eye lengthening is what like causes myopia, which is your distance. So I'm sure it's some of that, but it's a little more in depth. And then there's a cumulative.
I just pictured long, pointy eyes.
Essentially, my prescription's so high. Apparently, I probably have long, pointy eyes at this point. I just went for my glasses, and my prescription went up again. And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, I have an astigmatism, so they're just bulging out. My eye sockets are too small. So
Buggy. So, and then, you know, there are cumulative effects. So there's another multi-mission one, Peggy Whitson, who spent a total of 65 days in space, just not contiguously.
Wait, is Peggy a girl?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, queen.
Go girl.
Yeah.
So, but those were not, you know, all at the same time, but that was cumulative over time. So, you know, definitely the recovery period is longer with each.
Well, and I'm glad that they look at that because we know at baseline, women's bodies are reacting differently to things than men's bodies. So we can do research on both and see.
Exactly. So, I mean, right now they're still studying, you know, they're looking at what they can do to make this safer for people, and they can do these longer missions. I think it's really cool. Like, I was always interested as a kid in space and this whole thing. And now that I have like fear of like real reality and death and like I have people here, it's different. But if I was like a kid and you told me right now, like, all right, when you're 20 years old, you can go to space, I would have signed up. Like, I think it's the coolest thing.
Well, it's funny that you said that because you know how like when on your browser, it'll tell you like what day it is or like famous things. Apparently the Perseids meteor shower is peaking tonight.
Ooh.
So this is very on brand for our pod. You have to go outside and see if you can see it.
Well, but that's this is going to be a month from now. So.
No, I mean, like, you yourself can go outside and see
me.
it, not our listeners. You guys are late.
I'm sorry. You're a little late to the game.
You guys will have to Google it. I'm sure there's going to be YouTube videos of it. But
yeah.
Tara yourself can look, and it says it's going to peak August 12th to the early hours of the 13th, so tonight. And you're going to see up to 100 meteors per hour under ideal conditions.
Ooh, that might even be worth going out there and waking yourself up.
The Perseid meteor shower between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m.
I don't know if I'll set an alarm, but maybe I'll tell the hubby.
Well, you can also watch it on the Virtual Telescope Project, which is live streaming.
Nice. Yes. All right. See? I don't know. I have those space dreams. I think I used to dream a lot about being weightless and like swimming through the air. And I just thought it was cool, you know? So
I didn't have dreams like that.
I don't know. Maybe when I'm really old and I don't give a crap anymore, they can send me to space. But now I have people here and I'm like, oh, what if something happens?
Oh my goodness.
Just shoot me up there.
I mean, look, if Gail and Katie and Lauren can come back, you'll be fine too.
I don't have their money or their special doctors or
their status.
Or their status to get up there for free or whatever it took.
I'm sure they didn't go for free. I'm sure they had to pay. But
I'm sure they had to donate something to someone.
Yes. I don't know if I'd want to be of the first to go. I'd want to know once it's settled and we know what we're doing, then I'll hop on board. I'm not an early adopter.
No, but it might be too late by the time we decide.
That's true.
All right. So, yeah, I thought it was just interesting. I was really inspired. So those books are fun. Go out and read them and look up at the stars, I guess.
Yes. I mean, you can always look up at the stars are always there. And if you miss the meteor shower, you can watch it online.
All right. Thank you for listening to Medical Media Mixer.
The perfect cocktail. Cheers.
Cheers.
I drank all mine. It's empty.
Mine's a little chunky.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Medical Media Mixer podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps others find the show. Want to keep the conversation going? Follow us on social media. We're at Medical Media Mixer Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and on Pinterest, the Medical Media Mixer board.
If you'd like to support the show and help us grow, check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. And on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. If you have a topic idea, feedback, or just want to say hi, send us an email at medicalmediamixer@gmail.com. You can also stream all of our episodes and find more info on our website, medicalmediamixer.podbean.com. We're available on all major podcast platforms, so no matter where you listen, we're there. Thanks again for listening. And until next time, keep mixing medicine and media.